Hi everyone, hope you are doing well from wherever you're watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Now, I am forced to record in this direction because we are experiencing power blackout. And as soon the power will be back, of course, we will be back in the studio to continue with the good work. Now, there is a strategy that members of parliament elected either on UDA ticket or within the Kenya Kwanza coalition have been using to defend themselves. Anytime they go and address the masses, when they get to a rally or a church function, they have been trying to shift a blame as far as our suffering is concerned. The truth is that Kenyans are suffering more than they have never suffered in any other administration. We have suffered. And when you talk about the high cost of living, it starts from fuel. Now, where have they been putting a blame? The blame has been all about the war in Ukraine. You talk about the war in Israel. We have the Hamas war. And the blame has been because of that war and even the CS for energy. David Chirchir came to warn us that the fuel might go up to 300 shillings per liter. But there is one question they are not telling Kenyans, or they are not talking about: the finance bill. The question has been, who voted for the finance bill on fuel to change from 8% to 16%? Something they have never answered. And they are not comfortable to sit down and have this kind of debate. They told us that they are subsidizing fertilizer so that we can have a bumper harvest. But it emerged that the fertilizer they were talking about subsidizing, it was something that was given free, donated fertilizer from Russia. The Russian embassy came clear on this. And the question has been, how do you subsidize that which you have been given for free? Which kind of government does that? We anticipated to see the Minister for Agriculture coming out to give free fertilizers to farmers. Instead, they told us that they have subsidized. But it even ended up being sold so much expensive compared to subsidized fertilizer that Munya was giving under Uhuru Kenyatta. So, the ODM Secretary General, who is also the Nairobi Senator, Edwin Sifuna, was on a TV show together with the majority whip in the National Assembly, Sylvana Sosoro. And Sifuna exposed this government. He lectured Osoro on live camera. He exposed William Ruto regime in the manner in which they are operating on camera. And Osoro was left helplessly without any answer to the issue that Edwin Sifuna was raising from the cost of fuel. The question is simple. Who voted to increase the price of fuel from 8 to 16%? Because now per liter, at least there is about 15 to 16 shillings that we are paying more than we were paying in the previous administration. So kabla wasema mafuta imepanda bei, ni vita ambayo iko Hamasi ama ni ile finance bill hao wabunge walipigia kura? These are the questions. What about subsidy fertilizer? So the fact is that these members of parliament are running away from taking responsibility as far as how they voted on the finance bill, which end up affecting the people. All our suffering is because someone wanted to increase the finances in terms of collecting taxes from 8 to 16, and everything was voted for. Apart just from very few items. The rest, it was all about from 8 to 16%. So without wasting time, I don't want to talk too much. I just wanted to share with you a video from Edwin Sifuna exposing William Ruto's regime, the UDA members of parliament, and how this government is operating. It is just a 5-minute video. So I want to watch this video. then you are also going to give your view in the comment section. But above all, remember to subscribe, share, like, and comment.
Let me say something, Trevor. First of all, let everybody take responsibility for the state of the people. The Ukrainians agree, and the Russians agree that they have played a part in making, global supplies, problems and the skyrocketing prices of fuel. But also, when will you take responsibility for your own actions that have resulted in the pain of Kenyans? You took a vote, There was no Ukrainian there. There was no Russian to force your hand to vote for the finance bill that imposed an extra 8% on fuel. That 8% alone, Osoro, is responsible for up to 14 to 16 shillings on a liter of fuel. Take some responsibility. The Ukrainians are not the ones who brought the housing levy. It is not Hamas that told us that we need to impose these new levies here. They are not the ones who are bringing these new charges that you're imposing on Kenya. Take some responsibility. That is the sort of honesty that we want. And when William Ruto was speaking to Parliament, he says that as leaders we must listen to the people and do what they want us to do. He is lying because he knows what the people of Kenya have said. We have spoken more than enough times. All sorts of organizations, individuals have said that in the current economic circumstances, please don't impose more taxation on Kenyans. He has refused to listen. Then he stands up in Parliament and says this is the responsibility of Kenyans. Number two, this question of saying we have to pay our debt at all costs. We are so keen on satisfying these international creditors. It is what they call, if there is an example of bleeding a leech to fatten a heifer, this is what these people are doing. At what cost, Osoro? Must Kenyans fall down and die for us to meet these obligations so that you people are happy? And when you talk about this question of subsidized fertilizer, yesterday I was forced to substantiate a claim that I made on the floor of the House that in fact you cannot subsidize something that you received for free. No. You can't reduce the price of something you got for free. What I want people to understand is that this so-called subsidized fertilizer, the Russian government confirmed that it gave us a consignment of fertilizer for free. When did you ever see the agriculture CS distributing free fertilizer, saying this is the free fertilizer we have gotten, get it for free? It is not there. They actually sold that fertilizer to farmers and they claim it is subsidized fertilizer. Now, what Ekuru Okot, yes, I did bring a document and the speaker says he's going to look at it and see if it is authentic. But the truth of the matter is you can't subsidize something you receive for free. Now, Osoro, this maize crop, I am also a farmer. I used to be a farmer in Western Kenya. How long does a crop of maize take to mature from the time you put a seed on the ground? When did you? Now, just a minute. This free fertilizer, you received it in the first 3 months, the first quarter of your administration. Maize does not take that long to grow. Up to today, if you're telling us that maize crop is still in the farms, is that what you're telling us? So why are the prices not coming down? Why are the prices not coming down? And the rains have come more than, I can count more than 3 harvests.
I think we need to be very honest.
Let me finish. Because, Osoro, you must understand that you people do not have any idea about what you're doing. And the sooner you accept to be helped, the better for the nation. Because the nation, I am telling you, the problem with you is that because of that cocoon, that yellow cocoon that you are in, you think there is no talent in this country. There is talent in this country, but you have chosen to have mediocre, incompetent people in places of power that they can't do anything about it. So what we are telling you, please take some responsibility for the decisions that you yourself took. Number two, when you talk about the Hustler Fund, you are giving Mama Mboga a loan for her to expand her stock. If she was buying 1 gunia of sukuma wiki, you're saying she buys 2. But who is she selling to? Because you have raided the pockets of Mama Mboga's customers to an extent that people are sleeping hungry. They don't have money to spend. You have seen people closing shops, exhibition shops, people who are selling second-hand clothes. Those Mama Mbogas you're talking about. For as long as there is no spending power in the population, you're wasting time giving these people loans. And when I said on the floor of the House that in fact data from CBK shows that the default rate of the loans that have been advanced under the Hustler Fund is way higher than the commercial bank's default rate, I was again asked to substantiate. So I had to go and bring documents from government to explain to these government people that their programs are not working. So, Trevor, let us be honest about the things that we are telling the people. Now, lastly, you were reported, Osoro, as members of Parliament of Kenya Kwanza,
having gone to Statehouse to tell the president that the ground is bad, that things are becoming impossible for you on the ground. You people only care about your popularity. And there's a statement that was very telling. If it is true, the president said that, Trevor, we are in problems, deeper problems than we think. The president was reported as having told his members of parliament that you don't have to be popular all the time. So the plan appears to be to squeeze Kenyans as much as possible until year 4. And then at year 4, you start saying, oh, now we are going, we are coming. You can have your subsidy if you want. You can have this, you can have that. I am telling you, Osoro, we will make sure that Kenyans do not forget the pain that you've inflicted on them. Okay. And the consequences of electing incompetent people who cannot admit that are unable to run a country.
Did that
is what you have done.